we don't sugarcoat anything. Like we own it when it's bad, we celebrate when it's good, and just like every other business, we keep our head down when it's neither.
The funny thing is, I remember when you came and you're like, I'm going to make a podcast. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. And I'll be honest with you. I got to give it to you. You've been extremely disciplined in doing these things nonstop.
It's just funny, man, because like me and Ross share the same values.
Yeah.
We are passionate about helping people. We both have bleeding hearts. We both love people, but we are absolute polar opposites in how we do it. If we played poker, I lay my hand on the table and still believe that I could convince you that whatever's in your hand won't beat my hand. Ross is not going to show you a single card. He don't even want the river to turn, right?
Yeah.
He's like, just let me pick at it. I don't even put it. I don't like face up. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 100th episode of the Barndo Show. Dude, can you believe we've cut 100 episodes?
Holy mug. You have.
Yeah.
This is number 4 for me.
This is Ross' 4th guest appearance. Nah, you've been on more than that.
Yeah.
But 100th episode, man, like, it's a big deal to start this thing. And kind of when we kick this thing off, you know, the one thing that I wanted more than anything was just consistency.
Right.
And so it's been cool for almost 2 full years. We've dropped a brand new episode every single Friday, and we've talked about everything from faith to financial freedom to business planning to barndominiums, what to do, what not to do. And we've showcased a ton of employees. We've showcased business partners. We've showcased clients. You know, we've told raw, hard truths on here. And like, it's just been fun. It's been fun to just show the authenticity of you and I. Because, like, I don't think we really.
It's not sugarcoated.
No, we don't sugarcoat anything. Like, we own it when it's bad. We celebrate when it's good. And just like every other business, we keep our head down when it's neither.
The funny thing is, I remember when you came and you're like, I'm going to make a podcast. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. And I'll be honest with you. I got to give it to you. You've been extremely disciplined in doing these things nonstop.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, man. It's been fun. It's a lot of work, but it's been really great to just show off, man, what makes us so special. And it's always people. Like, people see the product all the time, but giving them kind of an inside look at the people that make this thing great has been phenomenal, which is one of the things that we wanted to do today, celebrate our 100th episode. You know, we're in our 5th year. We started a 5th year of this thing, and the last 4 years have been nothing short of a roller coaster experience.
Miracle.
A miracle, yep. And we just got some people we'd like to celebrate and thank and just tell some stories. Some of them you've seen their face on the show. Some of them you maybe never heard us talk about. And we just want to give some shout outs and, like, you know, so like we kind of sat down and said, like, if we had to pick 10 that are like foundations, right? 10 foundational people that helped us get this thing up off the ground, turn it into what it is today. You know, the first person that came to my mind was Haley. Haley made one guest appearance on here, and she wanted to kill me for making her get on here, but you can go back and see her episode. I think she did. Yeah, she's always here. She's always here hiding in the corner. She's my trusty sidekick. If you've ever wanted to get a meeting with me, if you've ever emailed me, if you've ever tried to call me, you've probably talked to Haley Baker, right? So, like, she runs my entire life inside of all the companies and all the things that we do. And it's just funny. So I want to tell a little bit of that story because, you know, Haley's a young lady that came in, and the story started with a Facebook message.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of year one. And we were posting stuff. We were always looking for help and hiring and all these things. And I just get this, like, I still get them. I get so many messages, but I got this one that was like, hey, been following you guys since you started posting. Love your company, love what you do. I want to be a part of it. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, what do you think you want to do? She was like, I don't know. I saw you were hiring for salespeople. And so, I just wanted to send you a message. And I was like, well, cool. I'm interviewing next Wednesday. Just come by the office. And so she showed up. I had no idea like what to expect or anything like that because I don't really pay attention to detail. This is why I need a Haley. This is like it's full circle moment here. Like I don't.
Let me give you background on this, okay? Because it's really cool and we don't sugarcoat things. Mind you, this was in a time period in our lives where TJ and I had offices that were literally side by side. And my side was on fire every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And his side seemingly was just under control. And continue.
Yeah. So I'm doing interviews all day. And then the last interview of the day, here comes Haley at like, how old were you? 21? 21-year-old. She comes in. She's smiling ear to ear, excited. And I'm like, so let's talk about like, what is it that you want to do here? She's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay. And, like, what kind of experience you got? She was like, none. And I was like, even better. And I was like
completely green.
Yeah, like we've got some different openings. We're looking for some different things. Like, what do you want to plug into? She was like, I just want to be a part of the team. You don't even have to pay me. That's a true statement. She was like, you don't even have to pay me. I just want the experience. And so I was like, you're hired. That's the best news you can hear as a guy starting a company. Like, hey, you want to work here and you don't even expect payment. And I got so excited because I was like, it was just such a genuine, because a lot of times in interviews, you just get people that are just, peacocking. They're just, They come in with a resume 32 pages long and they're 26 years old, and I'm like, bro, you ain't done that much yet. Like, calm down. But it was just such an authentic experience. And like, I really love seeing young people to be able to tap into them. And if you ever come to one of our offices or you ever pay attention,
they're full.
We have a ton of young people. And so I was like, well, you're hired. You can start Monday. And she's like, what am I going to do? And I was like, I don't know. Like,
show up.
Just be here at noon. We'll start part-time. I was like, show up at noon, and you just plan on being here from like noon to 5 o'clock, and we'll figure it out on Monday. And so I walked out, and Ross is in his office with all of his people, and he's like, how'd your interviews go? I was like, good. He was like, who was that last girl? I was like, I don't know. She just messaged me, and I hired her. He's like, to do what? And I was like, whatever we want her to do. And he was like, well, what are you paying her? I was like, she says she worked for free. And then Ross was like, you got to pay her something. So we put together a deal, and Haley started part-time in our front office.
In the corner.
Yeah, just up in the front little alcove as a, what do we just call that? What do we call that position? First impressions, the director of first impressions. And boy, did she let some good ones happen, right? She was too afraid to answer the phone.
I love your first impressions.
Yeah. See, I don't even know the names of the title. I have to, this is real life how we work together. But she started up there and she would answer the phone and she would be like, thank you for calling the Barndo Co. This is Haley. How can I help you? And never said hello.
Yeah.
Never said goodbye. Like, it was just like you'd walk by, and if it was between 12 and 5, she was there, and at 5, she was gone. And I used to always aggravate her. I'd go there and be like, what's up, money? And she would just like look at me with absolute disgust and be like, please do not draw attention to myself or yourself in this moment. I'm just here to answer the phones. And over time, I think, 2 or 3 months later, we made you full-time. And then she started doing that. She started working in that capacity. I had a different EA at the time, and she started kind of working hand in hand with her. And then that EA left the company. And then I had a moment about 2.5 years ago where I looked at Haley and was like, I need to hire an EA. Do you think you can do this? She's like, well, I think I'm already doing some of it. And I was like, fantastic, you're hired. And so she became my EA almost 3 years ago. And she runs my entire life now. Like, literally knows everything. She's officed with me. She's always with me. She's involved in everything to the point to where you and the entire leadership team inside of Barndo, if you can't get me, you just ask Haley. Like 80% of what you're going to ask me, she just gives you the answers anyway.
Oh, it's for sure. Even as owner, I'll call TJ. He doesn't answer. I'll call Haley next.
That's right. It's just, she just knows the business. She knows front and back of what I would do, what I wouldn't do. She gives people little pointers. Like, I don't think TJ's going to like that very much. It's just been great. So like Haley is absolutely a key player in my life. She does everything. Like, she's basically like a part of our family. My wife loves Haley. They talk, I think, more than me and Haley talk now. And I told her the other day, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, because now my wife has bird's eye view to what's going on in my life too, and she can get out 2-3 days ahead of me because I don't even know my own schedule. I walk in the morning, Haley's like, "This is what you're doing today," and my wife's like, "I know that from 3 to 4:15, you ain't got nothing going on." I talked to Haley, and I'm like, "Dang," but I couldn't operate. So huge shout out to Haley. And she's definitely the number one slot on my foundational people that helped us get this thing up off the ground. Because I wouldn't be able to operate in any capacity with all the things we have going on if I didn't have her facilitating.
And keep in mind, like, she was EAing for you and controlling client experience, bro. All the stuff that was on the board,
draws, banks, finance. God. Like, she's wore every hat in the company.
I don't know how many hats you have worn, but it's been a lot of them.
Yeah. She was always good. Like, we'd have an opportunity to promote her, and I would say, "Would you rather do that, or would you rather be my EA?" And she would be like, "I really just want to be the EA," and I'm like, "Okay." And so, win for me. I'll take it.
Yep. It's been a crazy ride. Who's next on the list?
Nick.
Oh my God. Nicholas Menz. Nick came to us at a time in which we were growing rapidly. The way it worked out was I went to church with Dan. Remember, we were at 4 Points, and Dan came in with a construction T-shirt on of another company. We sat down and started talking, and he said, "Yeah, I'm looking for another job," and I was like, "I'm your Huckleberry, baby. I got you."
Just so happens I need.
Just so happens, and so we hired Dan, and he came to work, and I think he was a little bit shell shocked because he walked in and was like, "What are y'all doing?" And I was like, "Just pick up a hammer, please." But yeah, it was a great experience with Dan, because in that situation, Dan almost humbly was like, "I got a guy. I know who you need." And he threw out 2 guys' names, and then we interviewed them both. I remember when Nick came in, the interview really started the opposite of the way Haley started, because he came in and I was like, "Yeah, so tell me about yourself, what you do." And he started talking, and I was like, "Would you please come here? Please, please. It's on fire." And if you remember, when all that happened, bro, I just unloaded on him. Like, it was just one of those days where there were so many fires. I literally had a fire column in that office, a list of all of the things that were burning fires. And I just, it was therapy for me to be like, "Hey, bro, this is an issue.
Do you know how to solve this?
Can you go ahead and pick up a pencil? Let's just go ahead and go." And he was like, and I was like, "Hold that thought." And I came in your office, and I was like, "We got a big fish in here. He knows what he's doing. I have ruined it. I need you to come in there and reel him in." And you were like, "Gotcha." So the long story short is TJ came in. He put the collar on him from Jungle Book, and the snake with the rolling eyes. And even then, Nick left not completely sold. He was the greatest thing about Nick is that Nick does not jump into anything without full consideration. And for someone that is the opposite of that, me and you built this company for me being like, "Oh, we need trucks. Cool. But tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Not a problem. We need an office. Awesome. Not a problem."
Yep.
Nick is the opposite of that. And Nick sent a message. He sent me an email and said, "Hey, man, after consideration, I think I'm going to pass." And I was like, "Cool. When you starting Monday?" I just sent him an offer letter, and
I'll never forget it, because you were so excited.
Yeah.
Because you found someone who could solve the problems that you've been dealing with. And I was sitting in my office. I don't remember what I was doing. I just remember you walked in. You were like, "I need your help right now." And I was like, "What's going on?" You were like, "There's a person, and then he has to work here."
Yes.
He's like, you said, "I ruined it. I ruined it." He came in with a smile. Now he looks lost, and "I need you." He's like, "Please." And I came in, and I just talked about the core values of the company. That's all I did. And Ross was looking at me like, "Say something else." And I knew that if he's in this industry, chances are he's really good at his job. He's probably paid well.
Yeah.
And he had tenure. And those are all the things he was considering. I'm with a company that's been here for infinite numbers of years. I've got total job security.
Yeah.
I'm well paid. I've earned my way to the top. and to come to this new company that's a year and a half old or something,
starting over.
Like, and just I don't. And so when I framed it up of, hey, yeah, like we build barndos, we build houses, we're a construction company, but realistically, we are a different animal. Like, we really value our people, and we went through the core values, and that planted a seed in him to where after the weekend, he called back.
He committed.
Yeah, and he's like, I think I'm going to take this job.
Yeah,
and boy did he not know.
It was tough.
He did not know.
It was extremely tough.
But Nick, he's done an exceptional job, and Nick's been on the show several times, and phenomenal human being, and so
Nick was probably one of the greatest cornerstone pieces that we didn't have.
Yeah,
and man, our life changed when he started.
Well, he didn't know how to build barndos.
Yeah,
but he knew how to build hundreds of homes.
Yeah, but we had a Mario, so we're good with that.
And that's what I'm saying. We knew how to build barndos.
Yeah.
We were trying to solve, how can we build hundreds of these?
Yes.
And so it was great. It was great.
I think the greatest part of it was when you were talking to him, you were talking about, he had tenure at where he was at. And there was one point you were like, you're going to get to be the author of fixing this story. And man, I think that's what really changed him. It really turned his life upside down and be like, okay. Because where he was at, he was not the author. He was just filling a spot. He was very good at filling that spot. But I think he wanted ownership in his own story.
Yep.
And that's what we gave him.
That's right.
And man, crazy, crazy experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah, no, he's created the systems that made us have the ability to expand as rapidly as we have.
And he's been, besides business, he's become our best friend. I mean,
yep.
We watch fights together. We hang out together. Yeah, you and him hang out all the time. I hang out with him. Super human being.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah.
Next, Nate.
Go for it.
So Nate's a crazy story.
Nathaniel.
we love you, bro. What's fun about Nate is like Nate kind of came in. He like randomly, like he and I kind of knew each other. He was all of a sudden looking for a position, and you and I had come to the conclusion that like we need somebody to really pay attention to the books. Like, we're going in 100 different directions. We got a bunch of builds going on. We need somebody that's like their main focus is just looking at, are we getting paid on time? Are things moving financially? Because we're just trying to keep houses going vertical. And Nate came in and he had it like, I just remember when I talked to him, he was like, well, I went to school for accounting. And so that like, whether or not he had experience or not, I was like, oh, you did? Great. That's what we're looking for that. And I remember I came and talked to you. I was like, I got this phenomenal human being. I have no idea what his experience level is, but he went to school for this, and we need this. And he starts on Monday. And you were so skeptical. You were like, I don't know about this guy. I don't know. That's a lot. You got to trust somebody really, really tightly.
It was a money situation.
Yeah.
So I was very,
It wasn't even what we were paying. It was more so of he's going to see everything. Yeah.
Handling
it. So Nate started with us, man, and it's been a crazy journey because he kind of got fed to the wolves as well. Because I think everybody that come in, like, they knew we were new.
Listen, TJ was methodical in this, okay? So here's the deal. He and I had an idea. He put legs on the idea of being able to sell it. I am very good at pulling that idea from the dirt and putting the pieces in place and building the vehicle. The problem with it is that when you're doing 4 or 5, what I built would have worked. And we could have ran it on a shoestring staff, and it would have been flawless. At that point in time, though, production was on fire. And keep in mind, I was doing the production, handling all the finances, running the bank accounts. There was nothing that I was touching that wasn't on fire. Okay, proceed.
Yeah. So we brought Nate in. And he got sucked into the vacuum of, well, it's a new company. I'm sure I'll get some, the ability to kind of like learn as we go. And he came in, and his first day was like, I think he actually came in the office like a week prior to the annual. But the annual was like his kickoff. And he came in, and when we got back from that annual, we were like, here you go. Good luck. And he went to work, man. And I gotta say, like, to not have been involved in a company, and by the time he got his hands around the systems and processes that we were running, they were changing. Every 90 days, what we did change, how we did it changed, the way we got paid changed, the price we sold for changed. Like, and he helped us pioneer that gap and really get a good handle on books and make sure that our CPA could, get accurate numbers. And like, it was just, it was a perfect situation because he really, one, needed the job. Two, I think he really wanted it because it was challenging. And he's the kind of dude that like, it's not uncommon to get a 3 a.m. email from Nate, And so he really pinned his ears back and like, and I'm not easy to work with. I'm not. Like, we're both difficult in different areas. Like, Ross is difficult in this very moment. I'm like very calm in this very moment. But I'm absolutely unreasonable when it comes down to, are we hitting what we intended to hit?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, massively unreasonable. I know this about myself. I know this. I'm very self-aware that I am an immeasurably
uncomfortably.
Yes. Like I am immeasurably unreasonable with goals and outcomes, but that's just how I operate. And I've put a lot of pressure on Nate. Nate's been in the hot seat. Nate's, looked at me, wanted to kill me, and Nate's wanted to hug my neck at the same time. And he and I have built a really good camaraderie over the years, and you and him kind of work hand in hand more than he and I did.
Mm-hmm.
But make no mistakes, he and Nick both, I think, have had moments where they want to kill me because I'm always the cheerleader, but I'm a real MF in the meetings when we're
very awkward,
when we're off of what we said we're gonna do.
Here's the deal. When TJ and I got together, I had the mentality of like I was the hammer in the field and I was ruthless to subs and I was like, hey, this is what has to happen. And that was great for that situation. And then we got into a boardroom with our leadership. And TJ would come down on them and be like, well, that number's red and it's supposed to be green. And it was the most awkward 90 minutes of my life because I was like, we just hired these mugs, bro. Please don't run them away. Don't make them quit. And TJ, accountability wise is a MFer.
Yeah.
And we needed that though.
No, we did. And and you make up for it because you're also their best friend and you've given them the opportunity to do something that they never even thought was possible. And so like Nate has evolved to become, there was a moment in time where I had to look at Nate. And I'm going to tell this story because you mention it all the time. And I would say it if you were sitting here is where Nate and I were at like, he was really good at his job, but we had so many things and we were just adding things. Cause like when you're a growing company, you just, hey, can you hold more water? Here's more water. And we had done that so many times that Nate's juggling all these things and all of the things were limited to a certain percentage of his excellence.
Right.
And I needed him to be 100% inside of the finances.
Right.
And I was trying to like navigate that in a way and he was pushing back and pushing back and pushing back. And finally I said, you're not a good leader, Nate. And he's never let me live this down. He's like,
he's so hurt still to this day.
He's like, oh yeah, no, I remember when we sat here and you told me I wasn't a good leader. But it was the perfect moment to hit a timeout, allow him to get into the weeds. And now he's general manager of the company. Like he manages all of our office managers. He manages the entire finance team. Like and he's so coachable to where when he's in, like anytime you're in something, sometimes you can't get the full perspective. And I'm not in it. I'm looking down on it and I'm going, bro, this is going to kill you. And then as a byproduct, kill me. Like I can't allow this to happen. And it's just been cool to see Nate go through this whole evolution. And now, like, I mean, the dude is legit. Even to the point when we hired CPAs, and we're like, Nate, now you got to keep in mind now, Nate had never done this before. And they're like, he's doing a phenomenal job. And I'm like, yeah, he is. Like, he is doing a phenomenal job. And like, he's just really good at what he does. Nate's kind of the camp counselor, right? He has a million nicknames depending on what part you are. but he is 100% bought in, bleeding Barndo heart, and cares about this organization at the level that I think you and I care about it.
It's such a deep connection with those guys that even, after Barndo's long gone, hopefully never, but it's a friendship that, man, good human beings, like good people.
Yep.
Very good people.
And they also lead up. And so I, because I'm unreasonable, but they also lead up to me and they'll tell me things and like, and sometimes it changes my mind, very rarely, but you can change my mind, right? New evidence, hey, I'll change my position. But it's just been cool to build that because I think there's a flip side of that to where it's like, in that moment, I hate that level of accountability and I hate that level of truth. But in the long run, man, it made me better. And you build a brotherhood like that's unbreakable.
It's we've cried with Nate, we've laughed with Nate, we've done a lot of things, man.
Yeah, infinite stories.
Yeah.
The Barndo Show is sponsored by the Barndo Co. Are you ready to reclaim your American dream? If so, head over to thebarndoco.com, click the contact form, and reach out to one of our representatives so we can get your dream started today. But next, man, is two people that were fundamental for, especially you in the beginning, Gabe and Mike Alderman.
Gabriel Tiberias with Artistic Floors, who is now Legacy Concrete, my AKA duck partner.
Yeah.
He and I are fixing to leave next week and be gone for 60 days. So, but yeah, man, same thing. Great people. We were in a season of we knew the process. We knew how to build, but we were subs of subs. And we really didn't know the process. I had fooled the crap out of you, or I thought I had. And they stopped and was, called the BS the same way.
First of all, you met Gabe at a QT.
I did.
Gas station because you were like, oh, it says concrete. I need to talk to this guy.
He had a window sticker on the back, and he hopped out, and I was like, oh, man, that's the dude. And so I actually called Mario, and I was like, you know this guy? And he was like, I can. And so, that's my right-hand man. As important as Haley is to TJ is as important as Mario is to me. He has been instrumental in building things with me for years. I mean, the boy's basically my son. But anyways, that whole situation with Gabe is that he showed up one day on a brand new build, and I told him what I needed, told him what we were doing, and I put it on, and he finally was like, okay, are we done playing bullshit? I was like, absolutely. Help. He was like, I got you, bro. We will build this company. And it was kind of a great situation because if you go back to that time, he was young. He's 10 years younger than us till this day. And he would be that anyway. But my point is back then he was 10 years younger, and I always felt, you feel a little bit of superior in age. But he was wise beyond his years because he had been doing it for so long. And so, people like that where they stop and they help and they grow a company because they care. And he didn't have to care.
Yep.
And that was extreme. Same thing with Mike Alderman.
Yep.
Mike Alderman stepped in and said, hey, I love you to death. We will build this dream with you. And they did.
Yeah.
And we needed those people in the beginning because we didn't know what we didn't know. But we were very good. Well, TJ was very good at selling them, and I was very good at finding people. And, man, it's crazy the mistakes that we've dodged just from good people.
Yep.
Very good people that cared about us.
I would say this about those two guys is they never took advantage of us.
Yeah.
And, it was beneficial because, we were fair. We were paying fair pricing.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we were trying to grow it. They could see it.
Mm-hmm.
And once they got around it, they were like, they both of them have been like, this is different. Like, this isn't just going out here and building the same old track home, volume deals. These dudes are different. They knew we cared. And I think it was refreshing to them, and they cared. I mean, I can remember you and Gabe have become like best friends, right? Like, y'all go all over the world. Dude, I love Gabe to death. I don't see him that often because he's either working or hunting with you. And but he was out at the farm a month or two ago helping me with something, and we were just talking, and I was like, bro, you were so instrumental in the beginning. But Mike Alderman also, because Mike Alderman did several 10 p.m. therapy calls with the two of us in the beginning.
He would come in the middle of the night. There was a time, like going back to the Nate situation, there was a time where I handled the finance part. So I would be up there till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning at the office, and no one knew it. TJ and I both are not like, I spent all this time, see me.
Yeah.
It was a situation where our livelihoods depended on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there were times where I would rain man that sucker all night long trying to figure out where money was, how we retrieve it, because it's just not something we had built out. It's not something we had dealt with. And Mike would come up there in the middle of the night from 11 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning and try to help me navigate those things. He would look at our plans and go, great theory, great process, terrible execution. And he would redline our plans. And that's how we basically got to the point where the guy we were using, we trained him.
Yes.
We trained him on how to draw. Even though he knew how to draw, we trained him on what we wanted to receive. And a lot of that came from Mike.
Yep.
Because he was looking at plans going, this is terrible. Like,
Yep.
you got to call the guy.
And Mike's a plumber. He's done an episode with us before.
Yeah. Big Mike.
He hit me up the other day. It was like, it's about time to do another one. And but Mike, phenomenal human being. You know, he's been instrumental in the business. He's been instrumental in being a great subcontracting partner, but he's also been instrumental in like, you know, water heaters out at my house. He's out there at
friendship,
10
therapy,
o'clock
all
at
of
night, you know, replacing it. And, you know, like he's just that guy. Like he's the dude that you can call for anything and you never feel like you're a burden. And he really did take two young dudes because he's senior to us and he really did invest in us in the beginning to help us get where we're going. And I think that was it was powerful. And I would say this, if you're building something and you can lean in and build something big where people see the value and they can feel the authenticity of what you're saying, they want to be a part of it. And I think a lot of our subcontractors, because we could go on all day long about people in the beginning that helped us from a subcontractor level, those two just stick out.
The importance, let me give you this way, the importance of having two stable, large contractors seeing value in two boys that are trying to build something gave confidence to the other subcontractors that were like, these two guys don't know what they're doing. We're not going to work for them.
Yeah.
It helped us achieve other legitimate subs. Because I had a bunch of people that I would call and then Mike would call them and say, hey, they're for real. Go help them. And it just worked out great for us.
Yeah.
Gabe was the same way.
Yeah.
We needed framing crews and people would not, you know, we were small. When we didn't have big track home builder framers and we had, you know, small framers.
Yeah. And we were growing. And that was the
need was great.
Yeah. Well, that was the stress of we're trying to build a system because we thought in the beginning, me and Ross ate breakfast at A&P over there. And we were like, imagine if we built 10 a year, bro. and I remember Ross looking at me saying like, let's don't get ahead of ourselves. We need to focus, try to do 2 or 3. We do 2 or 3, life is good. If we did 10, that's unimaginable. And a year later, we had 113 people under contract to build.
Yeah.
And so we were simultaneously we're a startup company. We're also massive. And to be that on build on your lot, brand new, we had no debt.
It's trial by fire.
No backing, no financial backing. We're cash funding this thing. We're literally betting our entire family's livelihoods every single day to advance this thing forward. And great partners like that made it possible.
Yes.
So,
1,000%.
Huge shout out to those
Shout
dudes.
out to you guys. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. No, I love both of those dudes. Next, you've seen her on the podcast several times, Alicia. Alicia's been around for years and years and years. She started out with us as a sales agent, and that's a really funny story that I will tell. But she climbed through being a sales agent. She was the first employee to lead in our first satellite office down in Somerville. So she's seen all the do's and don'ts, and she's seen what works and what doesn't work in an expansion market. And you know, then she climbed the ranks to become the director of sales for the whole company. She championed the way the showrooms look. So if you live in an area where you walk into a beautiful showroom and it's all laid out for you, and you know, pretty much every office except the upstate. The upstate's still very much an office with a little showroom, but anywhere else you walk into, you're walking into a design center, and she pioneered what that design center should look like. She stayed up at night dreaming about it, worked with everybody to get all that stuff, all the representation in there, all the selections in there.
Right.
And so it was just natural that like as we grew, she kind of moved over and became this director of client experience. But in that client experience column, there is a set of selections people that work in design. So you have head of design and all these different things that are kind of the support side of client experience. Once you get in the system, once you onboard and come in, she runs that piece of the business, which is, what am I getting? She she manages the team that runs your first look, your site visit, your showroom experience, your selections meetings. your proposal creation, your contracts that are coming to you. And she's been around forever. But the funny thing about that was, and I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast, but I met Alicia. She was a very, very, very successful realtor in the Summerville area. One of the top, if not the number one, in the top 3 year over year with a really big brokerage down there in that area. And she had actually reached out to me before we even went to Summerville and said, "Hey, do you guys build down here?" And my answer was, "Of course we do." And so she had clients, and I set her up for a discovery call. She got on the discovery call with the clients. I went through the whole pitch, and they were like family friends of hers, I think these clients were. And I went through the whole pitch, got to onboarding, pitched onboarding. They were excited. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll send you
and she sniffed.
I'll send you a sheet." Because back then we didn't even have like web pay. I was like, "I'll send you a sheet with all the instructions. You can make out a check or a wire and send it to us. And then you get onboarded, we'll start doing your plan." So we're going through that whole pitch. Well, they just disappeared. And, months later, I'm at Vicious Biscuit in Nexton Square, which is such a premonition of the fact that we're on Nexton Square now with that showroom.
Yeah.
Right across from our showroom is Vicious Biscuit. Shout out Vicious Biscuit. I met her there with my wife, and I thought she was an older lady. I don't know why. I'm just like, normally, you're like, "Hey, super successful realtor, whatever." Like, I'm thinking she's older than me, and we show up, and I'm like, maybe that's her daughter. Because Alicia looks like she's, 18 years old. Yeah. And we go in and talk, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a change." And I sold her on the vision, and she's like, "I accept." And then I was thinking, oh my God, I hope this works, because she's used to making a lot of money in real estate, and she's going to give it all away to come work for us. But after she started, I was going back through our social media, and I was like, "Whatever happened to that family?" She said, "Well, funny story. I told them, that guy's full of crap. I don't trust them. I don't think they're a legitimate company." And I told them not to onboard. And then 6 months later, she came to work, and they built with another builder. And they said, "Alicia, what the heck? You told us not to go with them, and now you work for them?" And she's like, "Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I got it wrong." But that's the funniest thing in the world to think of, is like,
I remember
the first connection, and she talked clients out of working with us. And then 6 months later, she came on board, and man, she's rode the wave. Like, she's been there for the good, the bad, the ugly, and helped build a lot of the great processes. And she was one of the best sales agents we'd ever hired. But
she stacked them.
Yeah, no, she's done a phenomenal job, man. And like, she's a marquee player. She was the first person that we elevated to a leadership role. You brought that up.
Yeah. Very first person.
She was the very first one where we said, "It is you and I, and now her." And that was a big deal. It was a really big deal. And of the existing leadership team, she's the oldest.
She was the first and the oldest.
Yeah, she was the first one, and of the core group that we have. And it's just funny to look back on it now, because that girl bleeds Barndo. Like, if you see her in public, she's 99.9% chance she's wearing a Barndo t-shirt, Barndo hoodie, a Barndo something. Yeah. And she's a pioneer of the brand. And it started with her saying, "I don't trust these guys."
I remember that. I remember you calling me super excited about it, but I didn't know anything about the people until later.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alicia. It's fine.
Heath.
Oh my gosh.
That's
the chameleon.
Heath is a chameleon.
The chameleon. Yeah. Heath, by far, from the beginning, he's basically our first. So TJ and Heath grew up together, and TJ noticed that I was scrambling, and Heath is extremely intelligent. And it worked out extremely well when you said, "Hey, man, I got a guy." And so Heath came in, big dude, and I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on here. But he came in basically the same thing. It's kind of crazy, because you look back on all the initial first hires, and it goes back to the bucket of water situation. Like, how many buckets can I carry? And I'm over here like, they're down my arms. Just take which one you want. And Heath was like, "Let me get that whole sleeve." Yep. That's the kind of human being he is.
He did everything in this company.
He has. There's nothing that he's not done.
An assistant project manager, a project manager, head of finance,
IT, getting computers, being in the field, doing permits. There's nothing that he has not done except sales.
Yep.
Everything else
most recently the head of design for the entire company.
Yeah.
And that's a huge move. And it's one of those situations where, as a business owner, you're afraid to remove things from him because he's so good at so many, and he's the glue to so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
But when we sat down and we're like, look, man, we want to elevate you. And if we get 100% of you in one thing, it'll be the best thing on the face of the earth. And he's passionate about design. He works with all of our designers. He works with all of our engineers. He verifies everything.
Heath is extremely important. Yeah, extremely important. So the cool thing is about Heath is that he came from textiles or
he was
machining,
working in a print shop or something.
But anyways, he came in, and because he was so extremely intelligent, he took a bunch of these jobs, but he become extremely well versed at reading plans, better than me. And today, if you give him a set of plans, he is almost better than a designer. I think he is. I think he can see things, and he knows code so well that he can look at a set of plans and say that'll never work. It won't pass code. Start over. And that in any company that does what we do, you got to have it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have it. And so, man,
he gets it. He's been around long enough to where he knows Barndoisms. And Nick said that in a meeting, and I'm like, you're right. You might find somebody who can run a program on the same level, but you'll never find somebody who knows Barndoism as much as him. And his ability to just, he can like envelope himself into one thing and just be there. And like, I admire that because I can't do that. Like, he can go in his office, shut his door, and be like, for the next 12 hours, this is what I'm doing, and be perfectly content doing it.
Yeah.
And so I'm pumped to see him be able to step in and start building out more of that design side and doing more of that stuff that he's so gifted at. And also equally nervous that we're going to have to outsource some of the things that he was doing. So it's just one of those things. Like, he's been, me and him have known each other since first grade, been best friends since ninth grade, and done everything together. Like, we done literally everything on planet Earth together. And then at Barndo, like you and him are more closely tied inside of the organization than he and I. But it's been good. And I've told his story a billion times. He's been on the podcast several times. But he is a fantastic human. Fantastic human.
He's very good. Very, very good at what he does. He's not for sale, so don't come get him.
I've got a couple more, but like the Olivia and Shannon, both of them have been on the podcast. They were the first 2 hires that I ever made in sales, and I'll never forget it as long as I live. Olivia basically hunted Tatiana down back in the day.
Yeah.
Found her and was like, I'm coming to work at Barndo. And if you know Olivia, that's 100% how it was laid out. And Olivia came in, and then Shannon, I had kind of hunted Shannon from a real estate career, and Tatiana and Shannon were friends. I ended up hiring Tatiana, and then me and Tatiana both were like, Shannon, come.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And so they came in at a perfect time because we had sold 80-something barndominiums, and we were trying to figure out how to get them vertical. And it was a perfect time to take our foot off the gas in terms of how many we're converting, but also be in a position to double the amount of sales. And so those 2 girls started, and that was the moment that it became real to me that this is not just a fluke. It's not just TJ. It's a system that works. And about 65 days after they started, they each got one. And then, like, once they tasted it, it was just like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Like, and they've been here ever since. Like, never left. They've been here for 3 years. The OGs of sales, and vastly different. Which just goes back to the fact of the product, the process, and everything that we have. It works.
Right.
It's not just a personality type, and it's just fun because they've seen every different phase of the company and every different way we've done things, from the days of a calculator and rough square footage estimates to an entire sales tool.
Every version
that Lance has built out that's out of this world. Like something that I never thought we could achieve even. And so shout out to them. Those are other big ones for me. And then you're first, EA.
Old Jennifer. So Haley came, and TJ was like, "You need an EA," and I was like, "Okay, sure, yeah, sure." And so I'm not so much open. So like my situation is like, I'm putting out fires and so Jennifer started, and we had at that time I think we had 2 people that came in, and we basically put them to the stake like Game of Thrones, fight for it. I don't even think they knew what they were fighting for. And the first one was a train wreck. Jennifer came in and man, extremely good at basically the same thing. Same story. It's crazy because we keep talking about these people and they all have the same attributes. They start, they know what they're doing, and they become Barndo through and through within the first 90 days. And Jennifer was that way. And my version of EA is this piece is on fire, take it. And that's not really true. All I did was just create jobs for the next person. I was like, oh, you're great. Let's do this. You're great. Let's do this. And Jennifer now runs, she's head of permitting. And holy cow, what a great fit. Yeah. What a great fit. Jennifer has been with us for 2 years. 2 years now? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't think this company could have survived without her being in permitting because she is infinitely important at dealing with the crap that nobody wants to deal with. Mm-hmm. Permitting and warranty are the 2 worst jobs in a building company. I don't care what anybody says. It's terrible. I hate those 2 things. Yeah. And so she's
and it was destined to be because Ross isn't going to work with an EA because he's not going to want them to know anything that's going on ever. That's just Ross. If I called Ross right now and he was at Bojangles eating lunch and I said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Eating lunch." I'm like, "Where you at?" He'd be like, "Arby's." For no other purpose other than I just don't want you to pull up on me. I'm afraid that you might be looking for me. Like it's true. And so trying to coordinate that to an EA,
I gave Jennifer my dot.
I was gonna say the
and she betrayed me.
The step in the right direction was he shared location with Jennifer, and it was there for like a year. I didn't even know this.
This was the second time I got TJ.
And I went in there and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting on Ross to get here." And Jennifer looked at me and was like, well, "He's in Arkansas." And I said, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, Arkansas." And I was like, "I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him." I was like, "Don't you? Whatever you do, at no cost, do you let that dot come off?" And then later on the phone, she was like, "Yeah, TJ was pretty upset because I showed him your dot was in Arkansas." And then Ross turned the dot off, and then it was like full transition. Jennifer's now permitting.
Goodbye.
It's just funny, man, because like me and Ross share the same values.
Yeah.
We are passionate about helping people. We both have bleeding hearts. We both love people, but we are absolute polar opposites in how we do it, right? Like if we played poker, I lay my hand on the table and still believe that I could convince you that whatever's in your hand won't beat my hand. Ross is not going to show you a single card. He don't even want the river to turn, right?
Yeah.
He's like, just let me peek at it. Don't even put it. I don't like face up. And so he is very close to chest, and I'm an open book. Mm-hmm. It's just funny. It's the dynamics of personality.
It's abrasive.
Yeah.
It's extremely abrasive to people that don't know me like you know me.
Yeah. Well, it's abrasive at first, and so it's one of those things where it's like, I don't care how you operate as much as I care about what you stand for. Mm-hmm. And like I tell people this all the time because they come in, they're intimidated of Ross. And then Ross is like their best friend because Ross is like, "I bought everybody cookies and we're going on a cruise. I bought a whole Barndo cruise." And I remember going, "We bought a Barndo cruise?" He's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. It's
we good."
And then like, I'm like, "I believe in you." And then they have a one-on-one and I'm like, "You need to tighten up." And then they're like, "I'm the boogeyman and Ross is the great guy." So it's like, it's a weird dynamic and people coming in can't quite pin it. And me and Ross have been in Mexican standoffs, like nose to nose, chest to chest, over a disagreement. But it's been less than 5 times in 5 years. And all of those times, we find commonality and we move forward. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I tell people all the time, like, personalities don't matter as much as values. We are so aligned and so similar in every way, except for the way we operate. Mm-hmm. And it's just funny to me. And, like, it's fun. Like, if you can't joke about it, then you can't work together. But like, we say it all the time. Like Ross, 100%. We started the first meeting we ever had. Ross was in Arkansas.
I was. That's why I said the second time.
And then the second time. And then Jennifer, she was like, Ross told me that I betrayed him.
She sent me a message and I was like,
oh,
shit, don't tell him. Tell him I'm on my way.
He'll be here in 32 hours.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, Jennifer was great. All right, I want to end with two dudes that are rock solid that we can't have an episode talking about the foundations and the building blocks without mentioning them. Both of them have done podcasts. You can go back and look them up. First one I'm going to say is Nick Alfano. You've heard me talk about him a million times. The dude changed our life. He came into our life in the very beginning, mine and then Ross's and then us together as a company. And more so than anything, he did not help us build some amazing company. What he helped us do is become a better version of ourselves. And honestly, being in the program and being in that container and being there and being vulnerable and also recognizing that, hey, we got a lot of things we need to work on as men, as leaders of our household, as dads, as fathers, as friends, that it broke the ice so that me and Ross could just show our hands to one another, right? Mm-hmm. In a closed room, say, the only way this works is you got to know what I'm good at and what I suck at, and vice versa. And so he made us into the dudes capable.
He made the team
of running this.
Yeah,
he made that. He made the two dudes who could build this, the two dudes that we are.
Right.
So massive shout out to you, Nick Alfano. He runs an incredible program for men. He's got a cool ranch out in Arkansas. He's got all kinds of stuff going. He runs big mastermind events, but it's not mastermind does a disservice. I can't tell you what it is. Go look him up. Look up Nick Alfano. He'll change your life for the good. The dude has absolutely radically transformed hundreds of men. I'm thankful to be a part of it. Thankful to be one of the first ones in. I came in at EV3, and I think you were EV4, just right behind one another. I love that dude to death. He is literally a brother to me. He's one of those people that I built a lifelong rapport with.
Great friend.
We expect nothing from each other, but we're there all the time. Mm-hmm. Even earlier this year, he lives in Nashville, Tennessee, and my son passed away, and I'm there getting ready to preach my son's funeral, and there's Nick sitting on the front row, and unknown, didn't make a just came, and you don't go through life with many people that you build that kind of level of friendship with, and so forever cemented in as a legacy hero in my mind, and one of the reasons why this thing works so good.
Yeah.
And then the next one, I put in the same bracket.
The Brain
Machine.
Oh my gosh. Whole Brain. Chris Brain is equally extremely instrumental in our success, I think.
Yes.
I
agree.
Nick got us in sync together as owners on a personal level. And then Breen got us in sync business-wise. And I think a lot of it is because of how Breen operates is how I operate. He only sees black and white. Either you can run 10 miles or you can't.
Yep.
I think that's one reason why he doesn't like me. Cancun, I'm still traumatized, bro. I'm just saying.
I'm thankful I had the flu.
Oh,
I'm thankful
I was gonna dig a hole and stick my head and sand.
I took my wife there for her birthday, and she come in
they're all throwing up.
Yeah, she came in, and I'm laying in the bed dying, and she comes in puking covered in sand.
Yeah, Chris Breen is literally the most accountable, driven person I've ever met in my life. Extremely good human being. But if you don't like the truth, my advice to you is do not talk to him. If you do want the truth and you want to get synchronized on how you can be successful in your business, call him. Just be prepared. You may want to take a couple Xanaxes with you.
Yeah.
And a lot of water and some of them oxygen cans. Might be beneficial.
Fun, he goes and hikes rim to rim on the Grand Canyon in 2 days.
Yeah.
For fun. Yeah.
Yeah. He wanted me to be like that dude. And I was like, homie, I'm 280 pounds. And he was like, we can change that. And I'm like, no.
Bro, the funniest story in the world is those two guys live in the same world.
Yeah.
So they were both in Cancun. It was Nick Alfano's event. Breen's there, and Breen's out there just effing people up on the beach and all this. We were also in Reno for a business thing. We went out there to be business people at a business event, and they were like, hey, guys, in the morning, we're going to meet down at the lake at like 5 a.m. or something. And so we go, and Ross, I always share a level of optimism. me and Ross are physically aligned. But I try to be optimistic, like, it'll be fine. We'll do our best. And Ross is looking at me going, I don't want to be here. It's 31 degrees. And we're on the side of Lake Tahoe. It snowed last night. And we get out there, and Breen is in his underwear on the beach. And he's like, I'm going to swim out to the buoy and back. And we were like, we'll be here for moral support.
I'll call 911.
And then he almost died. He like caught a cramp.
Yeah.
And still managed to get back. And then the rest of the loons met us down there at the beach. And they were like, hey, we're going to go to the top. The view's incredible. And me and Ross were like, we got this Jeep that we just rented. That'll be awesome. And they were like, no, we're going to walk up the whatever that was.
Oh,
like,
yeah. They hiked.
It's a wall. It wasn't like a nature trail.
Yeah.
It's literally a wall of a mountain. And that's what they did.
It's the most awkward thing when you're surrounded by dudes that all of them are less, 170 pounds?
I don't know. Nick
Cut.
Back then, now Nick Afana's probably 175. Back then, he was like 245, but he looked like American Gladiator. But they just did stuff like that. And like, me and Ross drove up there and then walked like 32 yards. We were equally winded. Like when we got to the top, if you would have thought we all came from the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I love those dudes, man.
We got to the platform and I was like, homeboy, this is crazy.
The cool thing about Breen is I met Breen for the very first time at EV3. He did not know me. I did not know him. We were from the same city. We're both in Nashville. And we got paired up in a group on the day that I thought I was going to die. And was physically assaulted in a field in Nashville. Thanks, Alfano. And we got, like, first of all, I thought we were done. They were like, now that we're warmed up, we'll start the games. And I'm like, warmed up? Dude, I'm about to die. And I got partnered with Breen in a team of 5. And you had to complete 5 tasks. And you had to do them in a sequential order. And the leader changes every event. And Breen was the leader, and we won. And I was like, that dude just won a fit. And I'm talking, we're out there, like, legitimately. Yeah. Like, it could have been auditions for American Gladiators. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember that show, but, like, that's the dudes that go to these things. And then there's me. There's me on the end.
Watching.
And I'm literally dying. I've done more exercise that morning than my whole life combined. And we get paired up, and we're doing linked arms, lunges. And you have to go down as a unit, and every head come up as a unit. And you have to complete 175 of them or something, or go all the way across the field. I don't remember what it was. But Breen, linked arms, I was the weakest link. And he put the cadence on me. And we went and we won. And we won by a long shot. And I was like, because we lost every other event, especially the one I led, because I didn't even know how to do it. And like, but I just remember standing in the field going, that's a leader. That's a leader, bro. He just won a physical event against Olympic champions with me on his team. Like, so that, I mean, he's enshrined. I tell him that to me too. He's the Breen machine. Oh, I know. When I took you, I was inside enjoying myself, and you were dying in the parking lot.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing better than whenever he looks at you and goes, all right, everybody, we're going to go down. We're going to do push-ups. And when Ross goes down, we're going to go down. When Ross goes up, we're all going to go up. And I'm like, well, it's going to be a long-ass day.
Yeah. We only had to do, what, 200 or 300?
Yeah. 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 It's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, and no story would not be complete to the fact that I went to that, and then I took Ross to it, and Ross was like, what's this all about? And when we went, they picked us up on buses, dropped us off, and then they're out there like drill sergeants lining us up, and they led us down a cliff to a waterfall in the forest in February in Middle Tennessee. What do you think? It was 30 degrees?
Easily. There was ice in the river.
Yeah, it's 30 degrees.
Moving water had ice.
At most, it's 30 degrees outdoors. And we get down to the side of the river, and we're standing there, and Ross is looking at me like, what have you done? He's looking at me with absolute disgust.
Fear.
Like, he's like, what have you done to me? And then they're like, take your clothes off.
Oh, no, hold on. He's missing one integral part. We get to the bottom, and some dramas happened the night before, and they stand these 2 dudes up, and they're like, fight. And I'm like, oh my God. This is like Fight Club in the woods. And then they say, strip down.
To whatever level you're comfortable. And I'm like, I hope nobody's super comfortable.
What you mean?
Yeah. I'm talking, it's a 200-foot waterfall behind us and a rushing river, and it is 30 or less degrees. And they strip us down in our underwear, and Ross looking at me, he's like, they're going to make us get in that water, ain't they? And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the direction we're headed. And me and Ross, first thing we did as business partners was link arms, sit on a rock in the middle of a freezing river, and have to simultaneously lean back until our heads were fully submerged and come back up in unison and say this code for the program that we were in. And they videotaped it. That's a shame, but
it is.
But
they used it on promos, and I was like, dude, false dudes
on social media. But anyway, I love those guys. It's been a crazy 4 years that we could have went on with a list of 200 people. We talk forever, but we want to give credit where credit's due. We love everybody that's helped us get this thing to where it is. You know, it's not by accident. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of failures. It's a lot of failing forward, and there's a lot of credit to doing it together. And I'll throw credit to Nick Alfano. You know, I mean, he built the whole thing on, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And we embrace that. And we've always reached out and tried to be elevated and become better versions of ourselves and raise our team up to be better. We've built our whole cadence of quarterlies and annuals on that same philosophy.
Right.
And we just love seeing people become the best version of themselves. And we're thankful that somebody's seen it in us to pull it out of us. And here we are, 100 episodes, 4 years of business, thousands of customers. It's wild.
It has been a ride.
Yep. This is fun.
Love it, bro. See y'all next duck season.